Hi, I'm Soph, and this is a trip to Bangkok that I took with my family in the first week of May. Our first stop at the airport was Little Flower, just to have some breakfast and coffee before boarding our flight. My read for this flight was Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground. I've been really enjoying his writing style, and for some reason, his views on misery and just the human experience are very comforting to me. But this is my first read from his oeuvre so far, so I'm excited to discover more of his work. Our first stop after freshening up at our hotel was Icon Siam. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's this huge mall, and they had this food court of sorts at the bottom floor, so my family and I decided to eat before meeting up with the rest of our relatives. And for me, these oyster pancakes were definitely the best thing we got from here. I first had them on a trip to Taiwan with my friends some years ago, but I was very excited to find them here. After shopping for a bit, I got my first Thai milk tea of the trip from After You Dessert Cafe, and it was pretty good. So yeah, we met up with the rest of our relatives, did some shopping. Then we took a quick boat ride and headed to the Chinatown of Bangkok, which is called Yawarat. And we were initially going to do a food crawl, but we were 14 or 15 people on this trip, so it's kind of hard for us to move around and bag so many tables in all these different restaurants. So we landed in Hagao, which is a dim sum place, and it was very good. We ate lots. We had duck, we had tofu, chicken, all the good things. After dinner, we headed home, but of course, not without stopping by the 7-Eleven nearest our hotel. This is the 7-Eleven hall. We're doing a gym morning tomorrow for whatever reason. But coffee and milk, so I have will to live. Brushes because I am stupid and I forgot mine. Toothpaste, eyelash curler, and lip balm because again, forgot mine. But yeah, this is it. The next morning, I headed to the gym with my brother and two of our cousins, and after getting showered and dressed, we started our commute to go to our first destination of the day, which was supposed to be Polo Fried Chicken for breakfast, but unfortunately it was closed due to the Labor Day weekend, so we decided to book Grabs and head to our second destination, which was Platinum Mall. By this point, we were starving, so we first hit the food court on, I think, the 6th floor. And I really enjoyed this meal. We had chicken rice, we had soy marinated shrimps and salmon, we had fried pork. It was great. I love a good food court, not gonna lie. I love the variety of choices, but I also love how each thing still feels kind of homemade, if you will, like, you know, all of these small vendors everywhere. And some of these vendors are actually Michelin starred. Is that the correct adjective? They had Michelin stars, so for me it was a really good meal. Yeah, but my family and I are really big foodies, and foodies I think is the more tame way to describe us. We really love food, and food is always a main point for us when we go traveling together. But that meal fueled me up very well for all the shopping that we did in this mall. I really want to do a haul, but I've never done something like that before, so let's see if I get around to it. But after all of that shopping, I finally had my first coffee of the day. My cousins are also really big coffee people, so it's always really nice to have karamay sa kape. After the mall, we did some more shopping at the Central Village outlets. Obviously, my family loves to shop, so of course I tag along. And I was thinking about getting these onitsukas, but ultimately decided not to get them. But I kind of regret that watching these videos back. The colorway was really so pretty and was really my vibe, but you know, I spent my money on something else. And of course, I had to get another Thai milk tea. You know, when in Rome. My niece also came along with us to get what she very lovingly calls boba. She got a Milo dinosaur, and I, of course, got a Thai milk tea, which apparently is an exclusive in the Khoi Thai in Bangkok. They don't have that here in the Manila stalls, or the Manila branches, rather. It was very good. I personally like this more than the Thai milk tea I had from After You.
I give my Milo 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 with boba. Okay.
Because it's not my flavor.
Unfortunately, my phone died midway through our shopping spree, so I didn't get too many clips of the other stores we visited. But I did see that there was a small drip coffee stand in like near the entrance of the outlet stores. So I decided to pay them a visit, and I of course got a cup. So they gave me an iced pour over. Honestly, this is one of the best iced pour overs I think I've ever had. It was so light and refreshing. It was very fruity, and it was just the perfect thing after a really hot day of walking a lot. Unfortunately, I had to work when we got back to the hotel, so I just ordered pasta via room service and did a quick 7-Eleven coffee run. But the next day, our big thing was to go on a tour of the ancient city. It was really, really interesting and refreshing to look at all of the beautiful architecture in the ancient city. And I had never known anything about Thailand or Bangkok before this trip. Maybe besides like watching their shows and like their BLs and all. But it was really so interesting to see how much they appreciate their cultures, even those from their ancient histories. We went to a restaurant within the ancient city, and they had these vendors on like floating stalls in the river. I think it's a river, and it was very cool. We had fried saba, we had all of these like different sweet and salty dumplings, we had sago, and of course we had like the classic rice chicken, everything. It was pretty good for what it was, but these I think were the star of the show, the fried bananas and sweet potatoes, and these sago desserts were so good. Our next stop was Erawan Museum, which was also so beautiful. I couldn't get clips of the inside of the museum, but it was really so stunning. They had all these statues from different periods in Thai history, and it's really interesting to see like all of these religious artifacts and all of these ancient artifacts as well. But after our tour, we of course headed again to another mall called Central World. And our first real stop was this coffee place called Vela, I think. And I got an oat matcha latte and some beans for home. These were both really good. I was actually super impressed by the matcha latte that they had. My niece and I also went to PopMart, of course, and I think I spent most of my money in PopMart because they had collections that aren't out yet in Manila. So I got Hirono, and I got a couple of Twinkle Twinkles, my favorite series. And we ate in Sombun Seafood, and not gonna lie, that crab curry was probably the best thing I ate on this whole trip. It was so good, and I definitely want to try to recreate it at home. But it's so hard to get crabs that are as meaty as the ones that we had here.
Yeah, I got some.
My niece and I unboxed some more of our PopMart purchases, and I was so sad because this was the thing I was really looking forward to getting, the Twinkle Twinkle plushie, but I got the one that I wanted the least, and I just couldn't accept it. So in this like fit of vengeance that I had, I went back to the PopMart store and I got another one, and I'm so glad I did because I ended up getting this secret, and I've never gotten the secret in any PopMart series before, so I was gagged, for lack of a better term. I was so gagged. And after a long day of malling and walking around, we headed to an Irish pub. And I've actually been trying to limit my alcohol intake, but I really needed a glass of beer. There's nothing that hits like a glass of beer, and I honestly was like so close to tears at the first sip of this IPA. The next day, I went with my cousins to Chatuchak, which is another like bazaar type thing, but it's huge. Like it's so big. And we tried to beat the lunch rush by having an early lunch. We got fried pork, fried squid eggs, which are so good. And for me, the winner were the like chicken barbecue and like grilled chicken sticks we had. And before we did any more shopping, we went to one of the cafes that were nearby. It's called Omise Cafe. And I got a honey oat latte, and my cousin got a hojicha. This cousin of mine was also asking me about matcha and hojicha before we met up for this trip, so it's really fun to be able to share that hobby of mine with her. And this store called Matsuri was my favorite store in the whole Chatuchak tour that we had. And for dinner, we met up with the rest of our relatives and finally tried polo fried chicken, and can I just say it was worth the wait. One of the best fried chickens I've ever had. And as this was our last night in Bangkok, we refused to leave the country without trying the mango sticky rice. Unfortunately, all we could kind of go to at this time was the food court in the mall. So I'm sure it wasn't very authentic, but you know, it hit the spot. For our next trip to Bangkok, I would really hope to explore more of like their art scene and their nightlife. But for now, I really enjoyed our trip. And I really enjoyed making this video. I guess that's all for now.